Back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. And yeah, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to talk about right now, but I kind of feel like, a wise man told me once. He actually wrote it out. I actually used to read this all the time. I think I let go of this actually. Oh my gosh, how many times do I say actually? So anyway, begin with the end in mind, right? I mean, leadership. When it comes to leadership, you've got to have an end game, right? So begin with the end in mind. So that's a good one. And then I actually feel, so when I begin with the end in mind, I'm going to pretend. So I'm going to pretend like I'm writing a book and that I am, or not writing a book, but like giving thanks, like I'm an award winning something or other, whatever, like in the spotlight. Well, anyways, doesn't matter. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of a mess. I think one of the nicest compliments I ever got when I was in the corporate world was that I was salt of the earth. And in the same employer, I think it was the same gal. She actually, I think I am quite, I don't know if I saved it. I have a tendency to save greeting cards. Just so you know, I used to have a greeting card line. It was called Martha Elizabeth Cards, my sister-in-law, and I created it. And I let go of that along with 34 different journals in 2023. So, and I mean it. I actually preserved the whole thing. I let go of a bunch of stuff and I actually do regret it. I really, really do. And I was pushed. And then I actually I was pushed and yeah, I'm not going to say pressured, but like, like to let go of the past and to, let go and let go and let go. But I actually let go of my grandfather's. I let go of some videos and of my grandparents and 35 millimeter. And just so you know, it was like over 800 of them slides. And I put them in a dumpster. I got rid of them. I did not purge in a healthy way either. I should have. Just so you know, I don't advise that you should on yourself ever, but I got rid of them. So I guess maybe I'll just not should on myself and I'll just say, yeah. Well, anyway, beginning with the end in mind, I have a friend who, that salt of the earth comment, right? Like, I really enjoyed many, many, many conversations with this person. And this friend actually, I'm thinking along the lines of high compliments. There's only a few people. Well, there are actually a lot of people who influence me and who I appreciate because I actually have a deep appreciation for people that, yeah, some people are arms and legs and hands and feet above the rest, right? I mean, they kind of go up into this Mount Rushmore. And those are the people that you don't have to put makeup on for, right? You can just be yourself. And not only that, they just encourage you to just be yourself. And that's a gift. And I've been studying leadership, if you will. Say if you will, because leadership and sales, they overlap so flipping much. And I mean, just check out the body of literature. I'm serious, right? Tell me, Anthony Robbins, come on, right? I mean, I've been listening to you for a zillion years. Just kidding, but so nauseating when I see people put you as their mentor on LinkedIn. I'd be like, how many times have you met him? Just because he's on TV and you bought his stuff, you're going to call him a mentor? That's a stretch. No, that's not a stretch. It's a lie. So some will say potato semantics. I know at some point you cross over into the lie zone. It's a lie. mentoring actually involves relationship. Learning does not. I could study Anthony Robbins. I could study Grant Cardone, by the way. He's in nauseum to me. Not only am I not impressed with you, Grant Cardone, I mean, any kind of publicity is, I know you're happy that I'm name dropping you and stuff, but really, I mean, do you have any, I mean, are you a Christian? Do you believe, I mean, yes, you homeschool the girls, but like you are so materialistic. Ugh. Anyway, principle-based leadership. And I'm sorry, like, excuse me, and I beg your pardon, Christian-based, principle-based leadership. I'm not saying that Christians have high principles all the time, but if you are living your Christian life, living out your faith, you are living, breathing, and engaging in a leadership where you are trusting a spirit, the Holy Spirit within you, but also the spirit around you and God and the word to guide you. I don't know if that's true I don't think it is in the Tao or in Buddhism or in Native American religions or in Swahili, like tribal religions, or in Hinduism, or in, sorry guys, the Jewish and the Muslim faith. I really think that it's not like that. A triune God head. Oh my gosh. Do you know what's nauseating? One time I went to an angel shop locally and there were mediums. Do you know what those are? Yeah. Well, anyway. So they, this gal who said she was a Christian was like, willing to try to get in touch with my husband's spirit. What? On my behalf. What? Like, I'm sorry, the closest I'm going to get to dealing with the spiritual realm is just praying, period. Both feet on the ground, knees hopefully on the ground, but not always. But my feet are on the ground, and I am not allowing somebody to try to tap into some sort of spiritual realm. It's just fodder for, evil. That's period. Ugh. I don't know why I'm just. Let me back up, because actually the people, short one, just so you know, short two maybe, but short one living, because one is living and one is a believer. So short one, the people that I'm thinking about that are not Christians, not believers, right? Like one of them, both of them would actually say to me, like, like, don't tell me about your Christianity, right? But I respect both of them tremendously. One is a graduate from Southern California. So USC. And the other is my grandmother. And she has traveled the world. She is 99 years old. And you know what? By the looks of it, and through the grace of God, I think she's going to get to 100 because it's January 31st. Do you not have excitement in your heart for her? Well, anyways, she maintains this like one God and blah, blah, blah. And she listens. She's very smart. She's very well read, but she listened, I think, when she went to the Catholic Church and stuff. But, I don't think she really reads the Christian literature that's been given to her. I gave her a purpose-driven life. Anyway, she really wants to maintain this safe zone of one God over everything and everybody. But that is a distinguishing and or differentiating factor. That's, yeah. So anyways, I am, and listen, I am going to say Christians, but I can make a good list, actually. I have a friend who's Muslim. And every time I see her online, I'm like, when are we going to have tea? Oh, do I love this woman. So I have many people of many cultures and many religions that I absolutely love and honor and respect their intelligence so, so, so much. But if I was to say at the end of the day, I really think if I had to lay down my card and put a bet, on somebody, I would, well, I think I would, if somebody's a Bible believing, praying Christian person, that's where I put it. Now, this could go into a trillion, zillion shattering pieces. But, that to say, this gentleman from Southern California, my grandmother, so many smart people I know, that are just very intelligent, smart, principle based, right? I appreciate that. I appreciate intelligence. I respect that, she's going to believe what she believes. And at some point, it's not up to me to try to persuade. Actually, I've never tried to persuade her, just so you know, just never. I don't even know if anybody in our family has ever tried to persuade grandma to think differently. I don't think they'd be successful because she is very independent minded. All that to say, and let's just bring the cows home, right? Like, hey, diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon. Yeah, I mean, we segregate or separate out our faith in our careers, and we segregate and separate our faith out in politics. But, at the end of the day, if you're looking for true north, isn't it about your convictions and your faith? I never read that book, but it's a type book, right? True North. I actually hit it. A black woman wrote that. I'm so sorry, I don't remember your name, but I believe a black woman wrote that book. I did read, oh yes, both of Sheryl Sandberg books. And I was so sad when your husband died. My husband died too. Not. Whether you're getting along with your husband and or you have a healthy, happy marriage or not, widowing sucks. Just so, I mean, I don't think it's a party. So, but anyway, let me try to go back, right? I digress. And so I'm super thankful to the Christian people in my life, the ones that accept me for who I am, and the ones that actually like me exactly as I am, without my makeup. I mean, there are people, my friend Dina, she used to just be like, there was this great, I think it was Great Clips or Great Cuts or something, commercial, and she, every time she saw it, she'd be like, it was just this ginger girl, right? I don't know. She had long, super curly hair, which my sister does. I don't have the super curls, but yeah. And she'd be like, every time that commercial came on, she'd be like, that girl makes me think of you. But Dina, who, by the way, who the hell cares? But she's not a Christian. But her mom actually had Jesus hanging on her wall, and she doesn't really believe that her mom believed in Jesus. But Mrs. Jacobs, somebody told Dina that she did. Well, anyways, I can't. There are some people I do want to get to heaven to see and thank and hug. But there are still people that are on this earth who I am so thankful for. And because of distance, time, space, I guess, time and space, like they just don't know how much they mean to me and how thankful I am, because some of them actually helped me really from a fibrous standpoint. Now, some of these young gals, like Shannon Lesky, I don't remember I think I think Mrs. Leslie, I feel like she went to church. I don't know, but I got to tell you, like, she blew my mind away. I bought stock in a company that she's president of, by the way. But yeah, she called me and she had a conversation with me. And she said she was impressed. Can't imagine people being impressed with my resume. She said she was very impressed by it. Do you know I can't find a job in this market? And when I say in this market, I mean in America. This guy who doesn't know me, but he doesn't like me. Or rather, I should say, there was this guy I reacted to, and he reacted back to me. So, not that he would give me a second thought or anything, but like he's from Price Waterhouse Cooper, Price whatever, clearing out, one of those, like one of the big ones, right? I just got a promotion, always putting out, job descriptions, etc. You know, it's kind of like it's probably on your feed if you're an HR person, right? Like he is just consistent about recruiting, like maybe not recruiting, but like about anything that comes to him. Like he's a funnel. Anyway, I asked him, I'm like, why? Like, take a look at my resume. Why do you think that I am not getting any attention on LinkedIn? Oh my gosh. Like, and that was just a slight sliver of a bunch of stuff that I had said to him because, like, I was so frustrated. It's like, nice to meet you. This guy did not think it was nice to meet me. But I asked him, I'm like, what is wrong with I've had people rewrite my resume. I use like qualitative words, quantitative stuff, right? Blah, 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 blah. Apparently, I'm not. I just don't have it. Like, I'm not I'm not the right ingredient for, not just startups, although I've given so many hours away to entrepreneurs and I love startup opportunities. And heck, I've actually done implementations, kind of did my own startups projects, if you will. Corporate situations, private, small, medium, and large companies. Yes, all of them. Nonprofit, aviation, different sectors. Educate. Okay, let me just go by sectors. So my experience, education, operations and HR, aviation, transportation, aka DOT, Department of Transportation, let's just call it warehousing and logistics, which is trucking, consulting to medical doctors' offices. Let's see, I started at the Dairy Queen, then I worked at Dayton Hudson's. That was in Minnesota. And then I worked for UPS, Dandy's Lane, which was a small little boutique shop, the University of Toledo, and UPS during college. Yes, I did. And then after college, let me see if I can quickly, I cannot quickly list this. So you're just going to have, well, heck, I've got time. Nobody's on here. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I mean, so let's see, after that, I could go through each one of these and tell you something of value that I learned in every single situation, even if it is maybe menial to you, but the value was I don't want to be like the person who treated me like I was piece of dirt, piece of crap, poor leadership. Too many of those, by the way. Many of them, most of them. I'm sorry. Actually, there's a few. I've had some good leaders though, but I think leadership matters. Oh, anyway, so let me just stay on topic, right? So I'm not going to talk about leadership, even though I've always imagined myself a leader. gosh, when I started at UPS, I actually really did have myself promoted before I even had my first day. I had learned in high school, in junior high, and I believed my health teacher in and I absolutely believed in creative visualization. Now we use the word manifestation a zillion trillion times, but like I'm serious. Like I embraced this stuff way back when I was in the 8th grade. So yeah, Sunshine Children's Home, which was a community. But it was, for all intents and purposes, it was a Medicaid home, and genuinely a high-end orphanage for people with severe disability, and I mean severe, like couldn't live on their own. Although we had a very good supported living, program. And that expanded after I left. John Martin was the leader there. My gosh, I remember when he pulled me in his office and told me he wanted to have a farm. And I grew up on that farm in Minnesota, and I was like, good luck, I'll buy you a goat. I wanted nothing to do with a farm. But okay, John Martin. Oh, yeah, Sunshine. Okay, so all right. And so that's college. Was there anything else in college? Probably. I definitely did activism stuff. And when I say that, I mean I protested against like eminent domain because there was an old lady in my neighborhood and she was so sweet and so nice, and the university was pushing her downtown. I was so mad about that. The injustice of it. They tried to put me on the news. I was like, no. I actually thought I was blacklisted from the University of Toledo because, like I did that. And the news interviewed me, but no, I didn't go on camera. Okay. And so, yeah. Why? Anyway, yeah. Why get on camera, right? Like, ugh. Every person, AKA woman, that I've ever worked in corporate America who had any PR experience are nauseatingly terrible. They are fake. They are minus Chris Peterson. Well, I don't know if that's your job, but you got me, girl. Okay, so okay, what else? Oh, obviously. Okay, so that's higher education. That's logistics. UPS. At UPS, I was a loader, an unloader, and an auditor. When I was at Sunshine, I worked in every single department with every single resident, and shy of supported living. Well, it's not true, actually. I filled in supported living. I actually opened the respite program. I didn't open it, Chris did, but like I was part of, I would engage, I would support, I would help. And I would learn from my leaders, especially the ones that really cared, like really cared. And most of the ones that cared listened. It can be very long suffering for somebody, especially if you have to deal with somebody who can't get to the point. But actually, the patients, watch Simon Sinek, whatever his name is. He'll tell you. Okay, okay. In the meantime, I'm going to skip all of the books that are coming to my mind that I was reading ferociously about leadership, because in that time frame, I had gone to graduate school, but I dropped out and decided I would be much more interested and better suited for leadership than psychology. I've always just had such, Mark, my friend Stacy's husband, like ambition, I guess is the word. Well, anyways, all right. So, let's see, UPS. Oh, okay. So graduated, Sunshine ended, Converges. Oh, global company, right during the the internet was launched in '94. I think. The web? No. The World Wide Web. My first Google search on the web was at my friend's house in either in 1989 or 1990. So like yeah. What else? Yeah. So anyway, we were training people in India. Gosh, was I hot? Anyway, I started to tell you a story earlier. Let me see if I can quickly pick it up and then drop it. But my friend Leslie, we sent her over there, and a creep called her and asked her to be her husband. And we actually had a, I don't know, bona fide situation where somebody had, you know, in an expat situation, got swept away or swept up or, disappeared in India. Now, I'm not going into any of the details when it comes to that sort of thing, but, those kinds of situations they loom out there, right? Those are supposed to be confidential things, but you know what? Sometimes when you're HR, confidential things. So let's see. Converges. That's the end of that. I'm not even going to talk about converges. That was my greatest, steepest learning curve. And I actually think that Earl Lambert was hands down my very best leader ever. Thank you, sir. I would love to give you a hug. Let's see. Christian principle-based leader. Hilarious. A Toyota guy. Oh my gosh. He was a ninja. And Ron Robinson, actually, sorry, Ron, was somebody I kind of jived with, right, resonated with in there. And I'll just quickly say that man's wise too. And one of my favorite things that he says, which is so gosh darn true, it's not even funny, never. But yeah, I mean, we had some people on our hands, one in particular of a very good example of how not to be, right? Principle-based leadership or lack thereof. Yeah. So I guess apples and oranges when it came to Earl Lambert and this person that I have in mind. I actually am friends with still some of the people from Converges. Erica, I'm friends on Facebook, but no, seriously, like I would go Erica, she's in Atlanta, but I love her. Ron, it doesn't matter. Tom, doesn't matter. Okay, keep moving. All right, so it doesn't matter. So, okay, Converges got laid off 500 people, kept the union out. So union avoidance campaign doesn't matter. September 11th, stop thinking about the things that happened. Stop. And then I think that I worked for Ed Schmidt Chevrolet, the Andersons in the deli. A national flight in between Converges and, oh my gosh, national flight. That's my aviation spot. And that's where I met Jim Clifford. What a character. I don't know, Jim. I'm not going to use principle-based leadership with you. What a character. I mean, what a sense of humor. I love that man. He was racy. He actually like kind of bugged me sometimes. But anyway, I really loved Mark too. Let's see. Gosh, I learned a lot about international business with those two guys. Those two guys. Good pair. Not two peas in a pod at all, but good pair. Good pair of gentlemen. And if you know Clifford, you're smiling from ear to ear. I mean, this guy, yeah. I mean, there are no boundaries with this man. I mean, like, he's just got some phenomenal, amazing stories. And I just love him and the generosity that comes out of him. Sorry. So actually, and I remember actually gathering people that I knew. He came and spoke to my MBA. It doesn't matter. Okay, so stick with the subject, right? Like, okay, so national flight. I want to say that I worked for Dana next. There might have been like a temporary hustle in there, such as, the Andersons, but I don't know. I'm a little fuzzy on that. I actually have it all like cataloged somewhere. So that's, retail, automotive. Ed Schmidt was automotive, retail, like specialty retail. Andersons, they actually commodities is really what they specialize in. And it doesn't matter that I went to the board exchange in Chicago. Stop thinking about those things. And that had nothing to do with the Andersons. Okay, stop thinking. Okay. I don't like it when my brain is tired like this. Can't even freaking get through my resume. Well, I suppose I have to stick with HR jobs. Or it would be easier for me to stay on course if I just remember and just don't worry about anything that wasn't HR, right? Because sometimes it's about finishing and not. I mean, sometimes it's not. Sometimes you finish and it's incomplete and it's freaking okay. All right. So, what else? Dana was crazy. What an amazing opportunity. God bless and God rest his sweet soul, Victor Asante. So many good people. Ugh, good people at Dana, and not the ones that came after I started. And not my manager that started after me or her entire upline. But I mean, I can remember when the CEO absolutely was pissed off at me and decided to was going to fire my brother because, Amy Ace, yes, I will drop her name. Maybe it was Tamara Bray. I don't think this had anything to do with her. Probably Ari Papadopoulos. Anyway, this crew of jokers. Yes, all of you. Anyway, he was going to fire my brother because they were pissed off at me. In the meantime, the lion's share of the people, but not all of them, like certainly Al didn't appreciate me very much. Believe me when I say that, people that reported up through Al did not appreciate me. There was one gal, can't remember her name right now. She's very, very smart, but she hated me and was very open about it. So at least I knew where I stood with her. But just a lot of good people. Brenda, what a great gal. Yeah, but some super long time folks. Keep moving. Doesn't matter. Dana, Dana had phased out their Dana University. They had phased out their holding company, their credit company. And actually they had to, I shouldn't have said that, but like we had Dana, I did not work for Dana. I had to work for Dana Holdings because chapter 11. All right. So, and I centralized disability, was hired to centralize disability. So the implementation and up, I guess my work at Sunshine and at Dana. Well, I'm sorry. My work at Sunshine with, launching the respite program / we actually, we did a lot in the group homes. I launched, man, let me just tell you, like you talk about insanity is when if you ever work for an organization and there's two separate, do not ever agree to a matrix reporting. You have to know who's in charge. Every matrix, like I worked for, every matrix situation where I was reporting to two people, even dotted line. Organizationally, from an organizational standpoint, I don't mind collaboration. I absolutely love it, actually. But, matrix reporting, that is an organizational development nightmare. And it's a disaster waiting to happen. Okay, so, Dana, then what happened? Oh, gosh. Yeah. I got laid off. And then, I outsourced my own job. It's nuts. What else? Gosh, Carol was such a freaking ninja. I mean, like this woman might be one of the most intelligent nurses, intelligent people. Like, oh my gosh, I love that woman. I don't know if she liked me, but she certainly was a good Christian and smarter than Whip lady. And her husband, smart too. Gosh, I love intelligence. Good lady. Okay. I don't care if you're a Christian. I'm just saying, if you're not smart, I'm probably not going to gravitate towards you because actually I might be nice to you. That's not what I mean. But I mean, when it comes to collaboration, I love to work with people that are smart. I just do. And people that are like, yeah, we can do this. Can do. Grad school, Morgan Stanley, Thrivent, PNC. Gosh, I feel like there's part-time thing in there. K-12. That's an interesting and highly political, bureaucratic, interesting, very fascinating. I could write a book about that. Not that, but I mean my career and my observations. Yeah, K-12 because like we had every kind of education, public, private, in every state. Gosh, I love the attorney. I still watch her on. I did not like mine. Why in God's green earth? Like, yeah, I mean, talk about getting dealt a shit hand. And I'm so sorry if you play bridge, if you play poker, if you play cards. Yeah, that sucked. But anyway, yeah. So K-12, that was a show. But I learned a ton. Let's see. Worked with the Highland Group, but that was collaboration. IBM, not there. Empower. I mean, all these benefits. So I collaborated with so many companies, right? 401k, you know, not Cigna, but like United Healthcare, little guys, big guys, private, public. I'm sorry, like self-insured, private situations, public situations. Let's see. Gosh, at Dana, there was this woman. She was a freaking dove. She was so smart, so amazing. She was in HR. I wish I could remember her name, but anyway, she was definitely principle-based leader. So nice, would listen to me in HR. Gosh, what was her name? Anyway, it didn't matter because I actually wrote Dory and I just said, I just keep swimming. Like that's when I embraced and embodied my I'll just keep swimming mantra. Which, by the way, I don't really care for Ellen DeGeneres or I'm sorry. I'm very good. I'm very bad. I'm very good at destroying people's last names. But yeah, I mean, I guess she's somewhat witty, but I don't know. I don't really think she's that clever. Well, it doesn't matter. So anyways, after Dana, I jumped back to Dana. Oh, because I actually really like Dana. I'd like to pause for just a moment and speak about Victor Asante. And the reason is because Victor died, and Victor died the same year or the year after my husband died. And my husband died of suicide, and Victor died and was a dear and sweet friend of mine, and I did not know it. I had turned off all the news. I didn't know it. I just didn't know it right away. And I really wanted to pass along my condolences to his mother and his family. I think they were in Cleveland. He had very high regard for his mother and honored his mom a lot. So okay, so got back into HR. Okay, yeah. Wallman Optical. That was a joke. Equip. Ugh, nauseating. Like, talk about an ego. That guy's a jerk off. Yes, and I don't care. I actually know somebody who I have great high regard for, who knows the CEO, told me to drop his name, and I was like, I'm not impressed. Absolutely not. And I'm not dropping your name. So, but yeah, and that is Adrian Steele. Let's see. I was chasing down vehicles in all over the United States during COVID. Just give me a VIN and I will chase it down to the railroad yard. Let's see. I was pretty dang. I was pretty dang on the money. Let's see. University of Toledo crashed and burned. You talk about failing. That is a nightmare. An absolutely, we say the word shitstorm, but like I'm that is my alma mater, and I could not be more ashamed of the HR conduct, the bureaucratic nonsense, and the way not just I was treated, but that many people, including one of my mentors, for real, was treated. So yeah, no human in that human resources. Okay, higher education. What else happened? Who else happened? Come on. There's more. Oh gosh, I have a problem. I don't know. It's pretty damn exhausting, actually. University of Toledo. Ugh, Monets. That's a joke. That sucked. Freaking heck. Unemployment. Oh, HIPAA. Ugh. Nauseating. Not impressed with the Monets situation at all. Did I say OI? I feel like I skipped OI. Owens, Illinois. Good people, except for, and I really respected her when she hired me, but Etta, she kind of bailed. Gosh, that was a minus maybe one, perhaps two, but like, man, that was a killer team. I love that group. I still actually, gosh, I've been in touch with somebody that, yeah, Dana and OI hands down, right? As far as, yeah, as far as culture, yeah. Is that it? No, of course not. A handful, and I'm not going to go into it, but school districts. What else? Costco. That's a joke. And yes, Costco has good reputation, but no, that's a joke. I'm not kidding. They don't have HR. Let's see. Although there was some humility out of the CEO. There's been a change in leadership that I recently saw. So humble and kind. I appreciate that. I'm not even going to list all of the nonprofits that I, supported and or helped and did fundraising, not fundraising, but like charitable. We call it, that I did. I was raising my hand for that kind of thing at the University of Toledo. God, you talk about humbling. I didn't work for my church, but my gosh, like, yeah, sometimes I feel like I must have. And yeah, I belong there and people know me and stuff, but man, I've been there a very long time. But no, I tried. They didn't hire me. Let me see. That might be it. Doesn't matter, I guess. It really doesn't matter. I mean, the fact is that I don't stop moving. And even after my husband died by suicide, it was freaking debilitating. It actually, you talk about getting, having an earthquake and a tsunami and, the tornado hit all at once. I won't list all of the majors, but there was a lot going on. And I'm still I am still dealing with the fallout, you guys and gals. Yes. I just want to make a plea to all the moms out there. I am still dealing. So yeah, so that's about it. Should I end on moms? You know, Amelia Earhart, hands down, number one. Like totally my, she's my heroine, and you know, allow me to just say, yeah, I could go on and on and on about the books I've read about leadership and what I've learned and all of these lessons and how I implement leadership in the classroom and try to do classroom management and behavior for day subbing in a very difficult and high rate of crime school district. But it doesn't matter. I engaged with this gal from Rudolph Libby. She is a rock star. I've never met her, but like, yeah, class. That's all I'm gonna say. Gail. Um, yeah, and there aren't very many. I could start listing all of the people I know or that I've dealt with and or interfaced with, like Chamber of Commerce, worked for and helped people on their boards. Yeah. And but we do not have a very large. This is not like where I am is quite. It's like a sleeper spot. This guy, Jason from the Bay, not eating, when he thought he was all that, and salted chocolate caramel too. Yeah, on Clubhouse, he told me that where I live is the armpit of America, and I was furious, and I was like, well, that depends on whose house. What a horrible thing. Anyway, he just thought he was all this because his uncle was some bigwig in UPS. Who the hell cares? Actually, my exit interview at UPS, I think that man looked like he actually swallowed his tongue. I'll tell you that story maybe. But long and short of it, yeah, the ego play, it's nauseating. I don't feel like moms have the ego play. Sorry, dads. I just don't. I don't think we have it as much. I'm not saying we don't have egos, but I'm just saying, like, we don't pull the, ego card. Ugh. Now I'm having this terrible thought about this, old-fashioned show called Father's Knows Best, and this absolute fantasy of, a depiction of life in the 1940s, 50s, and whatever, 60s. It's right up there with Leave It to Beaver. But at least with those shows, you can see the ideal with Ozzy Osbourne and yes, Donald Trump and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and all of the American Idol like reality buzz and shamuz. I really don't know the Kardashians. I don't know if there's any programming right now that is sane and or maybe somewhat realistic about American culture. Forrest Gump. Sorry. All right. I can't believe you're hanging here with me. It's really nice of you. This is insane for me to be talking to you, but I'm actually trusting that you're going to receive my words and that although it's in the future, you're going to be watching this with me. and that you're maybe going to leave a comment, but even if not, you'll get a smile, or I'll get a smile or a smirk, or there'll be some semblance of interest. I'm supposed to actually, I guess with this YouTube stuff, you're supposed to actually like call to action, something like, please subscribe. Please tell me that you've watched this. Please tell me something to indicate to the algorithm, which, let's just say AI, right? That, yeah, you give a hootie tootie and that you paid attention and that there's some value. Yeah, why isn't there a value indicator? And maybe it's just simply if you get 3 or 4 engagement factors, then people are either super hyper and simply, mesmerized and tangled in, or feel like it's delicious, or gullible. But yeah, I mean, it seems like if somebody watches it to the end and they engage and they make a positive comment, that should be good. And even if they don't watch it to the end, sometimes, like Forrest Gump, it happens, right? Like stuff happens. You have to stop your YouTube. Yeah, programming is different. And yet the Nielsen people, they want me to engage with them. How many people? Gosh, I remember when I would do those freaking survey monkeys. How flipping, gosh darn annoying was that? And I remember at K-12, my boss being so intrigued with that. And I was like, gosh, who the hell cares? I'm like, just go figure it out and go play with the survey monkey. I've got work to do. Yes, I love innovation, but that's because my grandfather taught me to play chess. And yes, he worked for GE. And yes, he taught me to think. And yes, he traveled the globe. And yes, I felt important in his presence. And yes, my grandmother held me to an elevated level. She did. And I felt loved and not spoiled when I went to stay with them. And I just couldn't figure out why my uncle died by suicide. And I stayed in his bedroom. And I wanted to. I had so many questions. And that was so annoying. And I got in trouble about it. But that's because I talk too much. So I asked too many questions. Because my curiosity is high. Because I seek to understand. Gosh, and I got in trouble because it actually hurt my grandparents, but I was never, ever, ever like meaning or intending to hurt anybody. Sometimes people, and gosh, do I know this now, but like that is a sore, very tender, sensitive subject. And so if you're going to give your kid feedback about that, please be gentle with your curious child. Ugh. Do you know that, accidental or not, but there was my son got very ill, and we lost, meaning our community lost, a little girl because of a Snapchat dare. That reminded me of, like, we used to do this stupid Bloody Mary thing when we were kids, and then we'd hold our breath and, try to, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, she asphyxiated. She actually tried to make herself pass out by doing this. Gosh, that mother. And Logan was bleeding internally. And I was like, oh my gosh, tell me if I need to go to the clinic. Do I need to drive 2 hours to just make sure that my son gets healthcare? Because and rightfully so. But I was not going to go to Flower, and I certainly wasn't going to St. Pete's. And going up to University of Michigan, Mott's emergency room was just not an option. Ugh, that was so sad. 1 degree away. Two degrees away. I'm sorry, at 2 degrees, you're totally objective. You are. I was 1 degree away from my uncle. But like my husband, he was 2 degrees. Ugh. 1 degree away. Terrible thing to have to contend with. It's been so many diagnoses. The hardest things to live through. And yes, I battled the guilt. This, especially if you've known somebody for 25 years and you think of all the things that led up to the very moment. Ugh. And then beyond, right? How could this happen? How? Ugh. On that poor mother. That sweet, sweet mom. Ugh. My heart breaks for any mother that's mourning. Yeah. It doesn't seem fair when moms outlive their kids. But murder, suicide, and certain deaths just don't seem fair. Acts of terror. Drunk driving. Malicious irresponsibility. That word, I don't think those words have ever been used together. Malicious irresponsibility. Like egregious negligence. Ugh. Well, for all of you, judge and jury, it's time for me to sign off. But for all of you, and there's a handful, and there's just a very few who've genuinely touched my heart and made an enormous difference. And I just want you to know I pray for you and I thank you. And I hope that God richly and abundantly and specially, sweetly blesses you. Okay, enough. Enough is enough, right? I don't know how long this one is, but it's time to go. Thanks. Bye. And thanks for accepting me for who I am. Just like this, without makeup and upside down. End this stream.